We have very harsh case in Israel. Mr. Robert Roby yesterday tried to arrange cities or countries by media, by press, free press. But he never think about, and I had a talk with him, he never thought about minorities within countries. Especially, we have a really special case that we are a minority within Israel who fight with our people, Palestinians. Then we are Palestinians in this country who really wants to live with the Jewish, where we, in a way, neglected. Broadcasting to Arabs, Palestinian society who lives in Israel and to its own narratives versus the law, politics, and the belonging to the Israeli state and to its narrative. Two narratives and a daily struggle for each news feed and each broadcast. It means to survive and live between the spots. The Arabic press is part of the Arabic society in Israel. And the public Arabic dialogue, which is located at the margin of democracy and the public Israeli dialogue, to function as an Arab media is in Israel sitting on the edge. But our protection and our support is our professionalism. The balance and the worry at all times not to fall for each side. Despite of the fact that Arabs are part of this country and they are natives, Arabs only come to the mainstream, the headlines, only in cases of violence against Jews and policemen. I mean security issues and declarations against the state of Israel. In all other situations, they disappear, they are not of any interest, and they cannot do rating. For example, the Israeli Channel 10 has a very famous show. This show I seen daily, in daily basis, talk about general items and deal with vehicles, houses, and politics, even animals. But I wonder how all of these are more important than the Palestinian Arabs who constitute more than 20% of the population of Israel. People who we live with, deal with on daily basis, work together, work for each other. In the Arab society, you can find practitioners, engineers, experts in different fields who are lecturers in universities and who own the self-expression abilities, and they surely can present Jews in their areas of interest. However, for some ambiguous reason, they are excluded from the Israeli media, and the media never take them into consideration. This is to say that two different communities each live in their own bubble. الشمس Radio started as an Arabic Jewish initiative, and we thought in 2003 to change the world. But we do something in الشمس Radio. As الشمس Radio, we have tried to break out this bubble in a simple way. If the Israeli public and the institution are not willing to approach us, we will approach them. Thus, above than 20% of our interviews at الشمس are interviews in Hebrew, including members of the institution. This is part of our policy, which adopted since we first started broadcasting back in 2003. At that time, the Arab Society did not accept this policy, and they even tried to protest against having so many interviews in Hebrew in an Arabic radio station who is meant to talk to Arabs. In a democratic state that's apparently temple the self-expression right, our big fear is to get signs to activate the self-censorship. When you are national minority, especially, the pressure for self-censorship from the authorities is likely to be heavier. It is inconvenient for the authorities that the injustice cause is raised every day and is part of the agenda undertaken by the Arabic media in Israel. And we born as a radio station or as a media for the Arabic society. Then we have to deal with our people in a way. However, for the authorities, it is not convenient to bring and raise the injustice caused against these people in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. But as an Arab media, it is our role to do so. We are obliged to protect our self-expression, right, which is not obvious and prohibited, despite of all pressure caused to activate the self-censorship right. The Arab community has a say and has what to say when only need to see that the Jewish public is willing to hear us. In recent years, there have been more and more attempts to limit the freedom of expression through legislation, through economic pressure, and I explained, and this by creating atmosphere. This procedure causes self-censorship and fear from the institution reaction at its branches. Add to that, the journalist in the Arab community is restricted in terms of sources, sometimes through the attitude towards him, and a journalist without the tools inter alia vital information will be lacking the request influence. The media has a big influence, therefore it is always been asked at what level can the Arabic media have an influence on decision-making procedure in Israel. We hope, and strive that as an Arab media, we will not continue to act only in the internal bubble, which broadcasts only to 20% of the community. But in the long run, we aim at influencing and affecting the Jewish public. It is very important for us that the sharp and blunt voice we are trying to voice is heard and will not remain as a sectorial voice, but a voice which turns to affect the public generally in Israel. We want the majority to include us as a minority, and not only us including the majority. I want to see that the public media is hearing our voice and is giving it its right and its space in every aspect and every meaning. and not only when talking politics and crime, but also when talking about fashion, lifestyle, culture, music, and more. Thank you very much.